everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. My name is Hiprain. I am joined by Trouble. Trouble, we're back. It's been a while, but we are back here on E-Masters together.
We're
How
back.
You doing?
It's not a studio though. Wait, can I turn this way? Oh, hello.
I don't know what way I am. I'm that.
Wait,
well,
this
no,
way.
I am
This
that
way.
Hey, how's it going? You alright?
I'm doing good. Last time we cast in the studio, it was the NLC semis, I believe. No?
I can't remember. Imagine.
Oh,
imagine
come
how bad it
on,
was.
man. Come on,
Let's
man.
let's
Come on.
look back on. Obviously, we're going through Group B today here at the Amazon E-Masters. Let's look back on that last game because let's be real, our Greek representatives came real close in that last game, right?
I mean, finally, it was about time to actually see Team Phantasma pop off, and I felt like it all came mainly out of the back of Pepe on that Ahri. He seems like this guy, if you put him onto assassins like the Xayahs, the Akali, the Ahri, he will pop off if he gets ahead, and he actually did get ahead. But now the problem is that for Gamer Legion, their solo laners are the ones that pop off every single time again. Like SAKEN onto the LeBlanc had a fantastic performance, always finding the backline target, like in this particular replay as well. He fights Vendetta, takes him out of the fight, and manages to escape with his life. And also, I feel like SAKEN went completely under the radar onto this gangplank, managed to scale into the late game with a very bursty build. I'm pretty sure he had the Trinity into the Infinity Edge and the Collector, so every time a barrel would pop, a team member of Team Phantasma would pop with it.
Yeah, it was a nice kind of like return to the game from Gamer Legion, but this was far from a graceful victory. Some serious questions have been raised for me. We obviously are still in a race for that last spot in the playoffs, and it is between KC and Gamer Legion. And Gamer Legion honestly looking lost for a large portion of this game. And yes, they were able to bounce back, but you know, versus a team like X7 or versus a team like KC, that could be a real problem.
Absolutely, especially when you think that Team Phantasma have been having 0 wins up to this point, and all of the big teams have actually beat Team Phantasma. You're expecting to beat them as well, but that was a little bit too close for comfort. For Gamer Legion, as you can see, again, their solo laners, SAKEN and SAKEN onto the LeBlanc and Gangplank respectively. Insane amounts of damage, like 45k onto that Gangplank. The closest on the other side for Team Phantasma was again Pepe on that Ahri with 33k. And you can sort of see the graph even like deeping towards the purple side as well. Like Team Phantasma had turns where they actually took the lead, they just couldn't capitalize and close it out.
Well, we are actually going to be shifting gears as we focus on our 4th game of this afternoon. It's going to be Karmine Corp versus X7. The last time these two teams met up, it was a stomp from X7. X7 are still undefeated in the group, and I think if there's a team that's capable of taking them down, well, who's remaining for X7 to play versus, it is going to be KC. But KC have looked a little lost this tournament. I think it's fair to say that, right, Trouble?
I'm not gonna lie, last time we saw this particular matchup, the X7 versus Karmine Corp ended the game with 0 kills. They could not kill a single member from X7, which looked a little bit sus at the start, but then seeing how X7 have been doing in general in the tournament, I'm not actually surprised. I think they've been extremely dominant, especially the mid-jungle duo Haru together with Tempt has been so well curated, and the way they move around the map is just so hard to shut them down.
Yeah.
Whilst on the other side, Karmine Corp also relies on the jungle to make the plays for them, and sometimes this goes a little bit south.
Yeah, I think 1-1-3 versus Haru is actually going to be a really interesting matchup going into this game. Both junglers, you know, you see the teams play around them. Like for the side of Karmine Corp, you'll see SAKEN kind of get a lot of lane control and allow 1-1-3 to be very aggressive. On the other side, like you were saying, Haru and Tempt, an amazing duo. So we actually did have a little look at the two different junglers and their play styles. So Trouble, I'm going to pass it over to you to talk a little bit about 1-1-3 and Haru.
Yeah, I feel like their stats at 15 speak for themselves, and the production absolutely freaking smurf putting in this graphic exactly as I started speaking. Thank you, production. Look at the CS per minute, really, really close with Haru coming out on top. Goal per minute, 435 plus. But the most important thing is that Haru is also the main carry for his team, no matter what he plays. You see his damage percentage for his team among all junglers in the Amazon European Masters is 25.8%. It's a massive amount. for somebody who could also end up playing something like a tank. You can play the Volibear, the Jaeger, going towards these bruisers and fighters. But like when you have Jinxes and like carries in the mid lane, having 25.8% average damage in your team is massive.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the individual teams and their playstyles as well, though, because I think when you look over, obviously, at this matchup, Casey, you can barely see, but they are on that, I promise. Casey, you know, it feels to me like, you know, they are a bit of a one-note team. They have one way they play it well when they play like that, but on the other side, X7, they feel like a team that are very flexible. They've got lots of tools in their kit. You know, obviously, Haru and Tempt are the kind of the key players and the people we have kept our eyes on, but Nata and Kasing are an amazing bot lane duo, and there's been so much flexibility. Obviously, we think back to the Tryndamere Soraka bot, like, well, Tryndamere top Soraka bot game, like X7, they're a team that are very good at making these inventive drafts and actually understanding how to play them as well, because it's one thing to draft a off-meta or off-brand or, you know, slightly different team, but actually understanding how to play that is another thing, and X7 have been absolutely killing it on that front. Now, we are in 2 picks and bans, and the Soraka instantly banned away from Casey. Don't want to deal with that, and the Zeri on the other side.
I mean, X7 have a lot of flexibility, as you mentioned as well. They have played a bunch of things in the NLC as well. But for Karmine Corp, I'm a little bit confused because they showed a completely different style when they played in the LFL, playing towards that bot side of the map, perma diving full Rekkles and Hantera to try and get them ahead. Well, so far at the EU Masters, the first 3 games that they have played have been all centered around 113 making the plays, SAKEN shadowing him on every single move. So I want to see what kind of Karmine Corp we're going to get versus X7, because I feel like the key to beating X7 is probably figuring out what Haru is doing and shutting him down. We saw that Haru struggled a little bit versus Team Phantasma, where he had a little bit of a weird pathing. He gets caught on the top side of the map. So if K-Corp can actually replicate that, catch Haru off guard and shut him down, I think this is most likely the key to victory. And right here, the Volibear has been taken completely out of the question. So you have things like the Jinx and the Ahri that have been the prominent B1 picks. Oh, or the Xayah as well, anti-dive, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of forget about the Xayah, but it is still there. It's something that shows up. I'm curious to see what X7's answer in response to this is going to be. They're going to pick up that misfortune here. I wonder if they're just going to look to try and get themselves a solid jungler as well, because the jungle pool, not overly trimmed, but Haru losing their Volibear is obviously a pretty big pick, because that's something we did see Haru actually crush Casey with last time, but the Jarvan is still left open, so that seems like a pretty big no-brainer for them there.
So that right here is exactly what X7 did last time they played versus Karmine Corp. They picked the misfortune together with the Volibear, as you mentioned, but right here, you're sort of forcing K-Corp to draft champions that are very slippery, which is very easy, because champions like Ahri are still up and available. Xin Zhao does not care about being locked up in a Cataclysm when bullet time is on, because all he has to do is simply press R, and it's the same as Xayah, right? So he goes up in the air, doesn't get hit by the bullet time. So far, I think Karmine Corp have done very well into dodging the bullets, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. Now, see what the answer's going to be here from potentially Tempt here. They could just get themselves a really solid bot lane duo if they want to, but I kind of expect to see Tempt go in.
Yeah, I'm expecting the LeBlanc right here. It works really well into the Ahri. Of course, Ahri can choose to shove the lane and sort of shadow the jungle. And I think this is why SAKEN in particular picks the Ahri. We're used to SAKEN playing a lot of the Ryze, getting priority and roaming the map. You can do this with Ahri whilst also having pick potential. And since they want to play around 113 and his Xin Zhao into the Jarvan, I think it's a great pick here.
Well, we're going to see the bans coming through. Probably going to see quite a few top laners get banned out. Curious to see what kind of top laners you think we're going to see getting banned away. Obviously, there are still supports as well, but, you know, could we just see some of these engaged tanks get banned, or do you think maybe there's something a little bit more spicy in the mix? We did see Cabo play Aurelia earlier today.
Actually, into the Jarvan, I would like to see the Gnar being banned, because you can work different ways. The Jarvan dives into the Cataclysm, and then the Gnar can shove him into his own wall from the Cataclysm and lock him in and kill him off completely. So I'm thinking either the Gnar is going to be heavily contested from both teams, or it's going to be banned away. The fact here that Karmine Corp are banning the Aurelia, maybe we see a Camille ban or a Gangplank ban as well. To me, it suggests that they maybe want to take the Gnar away for themselves and play it into the J4. Of course, X7 have R5, right? And they're going to either choose to use it as a support pick or as a top lane pick, but knowing X7, they are most likely going to use it as a top lane counter pick, because Cabochard, let's be honest, is one of the strongest, if not the strongest top laner we have in the tournament, and you definitely want to have the upper hand.
Also, you have that misfortune, so you can kind of lean towards playing it safe bot lane and just get, a comfortable bot lane for Nata and Kasing. You know they're going to be reliable down there. Make sure Jaeger set up for success. I think that is going to be the big thing for them to do. See what they're going to ban away. The Ornn is the final ban, so a little bit scared about that kind of team fighting potential that could come forward. You've obviously got the Cataclysm, the Bullet Time, and then a Call of the Forge God would be horrendous for KC to play into. So we'll see what they're going to look to go for here, but they're obviously going to want to make sure it's as comfortable a top lane matchup for Jaeger as possible. So the Rakan's going to get picked up here just to add a little bit more to that engage, because at the moment it is only really Jarvan who's starting fights for X7.
And here, I think the Gnar is going to get locked in here. I think it makes absolute giga sense, especially again when Jarvan creates walls with his Cataclysm as well. The Aurelia ban sort of gives it away as well. And then X7 will have the counter pick into the Gnar. Something that Jaeger really likes playing into the Gnar, for example, is the Tryndamere. And I think right here, Tryndamere could also make sense. Dive into the backline, take the Xayah ultimate. Once you take that Xayah ultimate, then she can't play the fight. She cannot walk through choke points. So I think it was a really great pick that they put Kasing onto the Rakan, providing engage, disengage is really great with the bullet time, keeping people into place with the taunt as well, the R, and then allowing for that misfortune to do the damage. And right here, I mean, you've got choices, right? You can even go into the Graves if you want to, but I mean, seeing Jaeger on the Tryndamere previously, Jaeger has also gone a pentakill in the NLC with the Tryndamere, the only pentakill we had this season. I think it's a little bit maybe of a no-brainer.
There's also the GP, potentially, as well, something you can pick up in the top side. So there are a lot of picks open to Jaeger.
Oh, never mind. I'm trolling because Tryndamere has...
Oh, Tryndamere is banned. Oh, they go for Akali. Interesting. Interesting pickup there for the Akali. How do you kind of see this going?
So, we have double AP assassins on the side of X7. And there are multiple lanes that Haru can play through. You've got setup in every single one because you have a J4 in your jungle. So you instantly have setup. The J4 LeBlanc combo is very lethal as well. If they hit first, you die. You've got setup in the bot lane with the Rakan and the Misfortune that's extremely deadly. But if you look on the other side of the map, I see a lot of potential for heavy dying down the bot lane. You've got the Nautilus, that's an extremely good diver, and we know that 113, at least in the LFL, did really like pathing towards the bot side of the map. So I'd really like to keep a track on the two junglers to see where they're gonna go.
Yeah, jungle is going to be very interesting this game. These are two very defining junglers for their teams, and I know it feels like a lot of the time when you talk about teams, you do go, well, watch the jungle because they can be a really big factor. But honestly, with these two teams, 113 and Haru, genuinely are defining factors of their teams. And Trouble, you were talking to me when we were like getting ready for all the games today. 113 is a really interesting jungler the way he passed, right?
Yeah, he absolutely is. He has chosen a completely different way of playing the game. After the LFL playoffs, again, he was perma-diving bot lane, but every single time 113 is doing the 3-step technique. He clears one camp into full clear on that side, into either invade or he's gonna try to pull out a gank. So all eyes on 113 in this particular game. Let's see if his third step in the game is again going to be something aggressive, because he pulled the exact same play versus Haru in the previous matchup between them, and it was the only time on the first week of games that 113 was unsuccessful into making that third aggressive step work.
Yes, he's done it every E-Masters game, if I remember as well, this kind of third move being the aggressive move, which is slightly telegraphed, which is the downside to this. Haru should be aware that this is how 113 plays, and the team, well, it's on the side of X7 to kind of either track where 113 is to make sure they know where this play is going to go down, so that there can be some kind of response. Because if you do stop this play from actually working, it really stunts the growth of 113 early. And it actually looks like KC are going for an early invade, but that ward has spotted them out. It could be detrimental.
This is what happened when last time 113 played Xin Zhao into particularly Jarvan on blue side. He starts blue, he always wards enemy red, and then he'll do blue into top clear and he will instantly invade Raptors. Haru though is gonna start from the red side, so that means that he's going to take his red buff and potentially go straight into Raptors, and then 113 will not have a way to invade him and he can continue his path towards the bot side of the map. Again, Haru, we have praised him a lot from the NOC. He is a world champion, whether people can accept it or not. Yes, he has played only one game, but his team did take down SKTT1. They did take down FLICKR 3-0 in these Worlds Finals. So he very well has that skin, and he does deserve to be called a world champion for a reason. I find him extremely clever when it comes to pathing and figuring out where the opponents lie, but Nata's been caught here.
Yeah, that's a good hook. The Ignite's been thrown down, and now Kasing, it's on him to get out, but he will be able to do so. Lovely trade there for KC, but on the other side, here comes Haru. He's got the flag, he's got the drag forces, the flash out, chases in, got the red buff ticking, and Hantera slowed down. Haru waiting for that combo to come up one more time, but Hantera will be able to hook onto a wall and get away scot-free as he is out of there.
But look at that movement instantly. You see Haru trying to chase into the red side jungle of 113, and Tempt instantly shadows. He starts hovering towards the bot side of the map, ready to invade. And right here, Hantera doesn't only lose his flash, but he loses 113, his red buff as well, because they can no longer play aggressive. Bot lane had a really, really good trade. They traded Nata's HP, which meant the Misfortune could not step up. But because Hantera got caught in that level 2 gank from Haru, it cost them the bot lane priority and 113 his red buff.
Tempt's done a pretty good job in this lane as well, because typically you kind of expect the Ahri early to get a very heavy shove and kind of, you know, force the LeBlanc under, but Tempt's been able to hold this wave in a relatively good place for himself, and he's doing okay down here. So that hasn't opened up SAKEN to move around the map and help 113, but once again, Nata eating a lot of crowd control and a lot of damage. He's chunked out very low, and if 113 decides to cancel that recall, which he doesn't, that could have been a bit of a dangerous situation for Nata.
At this point, I think 113 needs to get back to base really quickly, grab his double long swords, be onto the map before the Jarvan. So if Jarvan tries to make a play, he will be there to counter with the extra damage that he has in his inventory right now. But remember that Haru is still hovering towards the bot side of the map. He's not going to allow Hantera and Rekkles to get that early reset that they really like. He's not going to allow Hantera to be unlocked onto the map, which means that 113 for the time being is going to be moving around. All of this is just to keep the tempo rolling for his bot lane, allow his bot lane to choose whenever they want to reset first, because what Hantera really loves to do is get that really early recall, really early reset together with Rekkles, and whilst Rekkles is walking back bot, you'll see Hantera on the top side of the map, which is not the case right now. 113 yet again with the red Raptors in bed.
113 is in that Raptors though, taking that away from his counterpart. He has been spotted, yes, there is a ward that caught him out. Just teleport him back into the mid lane. Don't expect to see any plays here, although they haven't seen him leave the jungle, so they know he's about, and Haru will have the knowledge that someone's about. Spotting him out. Do catch on to him for the moment, but it's actually SAKEN who's got the first move. Haru gonna get knocked up. Needs to try and get his way out, but he flags, he drags, and he's out of there. Unless 113 wants to flash, but he's not gonna do so. Haru able to get away with his life.
Really good aggression right there by 113 to find Haru into the jungle. Again, shutting down Haru is a big key to bringing X7 down, because that could have resulted in potentially a play towards the top side of the map. You see how far Cabochard is being pushed towards the top side of the map as well, so he could have ended up paying with his life. Of course, there's a bunch of wards around, but you can always find your way around Fog of War. So really great move by 113 there, spots Haru, forces him out of the jungle, and now he knows that, you know, top side jungle has no creeps anymore, so Haru can only play towards one side, which is the bot side. And who has reset? Karmine Corp has reset, which means that they're going to be able to get out scot-free, because there's not going to be much pressure. There's no one there to be ganked.
Nata's actually been back to base, picked up the Ionian boots as well, so a bit of an additional cooldown. Rekkles with a triple longsword for himself in that lane. But it's been a pretty tempered start to this game. Honestly, I kind of expected a lot more aggression, just because of how 113 does play early, and I guess he has been relatively aggressive, and Haru has been trying to make plays elsewhere on the map. But for the most part, it's been a relatively relaxed start. I say that as X7 bring multiple members up to this mid lane just to kind of shadow Tempt as he shoves the wave in, making sure that this wave does crash and this wave isn't just going to be stuck in a really awkward place for him. It looks like it's not going to do so.
They know exactly where 113 is, and if they actually catch him before he resets...
Got the flash out. Hantera, no flash available to him, so they should be out scot-free unless Hantera lands a really nice hook here. Top side plate does go up for Cabo.
I think this is also maybe the perfect time to try and go for the dragon right here. Haru, you see him hovering around, but I know that SAKEN has to reset at some point. and he doesn't have his teleport to get back in lane. So if they do so wish, they can actually wait for Nata to get the level 6, shove in the wave, and actually try to go for that dragon, which is going to be the first dragon of the game. But because SAKEN has not risen, he still stays in lane, Haru is just going to continue farming towards the top side of the map. I think level 6 is going to be very important for both of these junglers. The charm is going to be dodged.
Yeah, nice dodge on the charm and the second part of the Orb of Deception there from Tempt. It's a lovely little trade-off with his Mimic. Is still going to have to deal with this wave. We'll be able to do so. SAKEN chunks and actually out of mana means 113 doesn't actually have backup here. Tempt's been able to sort the wave state out as well, so he can move over in time. Meanwhile, the flashes come down and they've got the bullet time. Hantera's able to hook onto the wall to get away. Meanwhile, on the top side, the pit, everything's been thrown down. 113 chained up, rooted low. SAKEN has the ultimate. SAKEN can find the kill here. Haru needs to dodge away on everything. An amazing Gnar back, but Tempt continues to chase forward. SAKEN burning low, but won't go down. Now Cabu has to find his way out. Tempt's got the chains on, and Jaeger can come in with a shuriken flip and that perfect execution to make sure that Cabu will fall here. One last auto will secure it. Jaeger secures a kill to tidy that out, and X7 walk away the victors of that top lane skirmish.
That is a 2-for-1 in favor of X7, and it was almost a 3-for-1 hit print. SAKEN got away with a sliver of health right there. Again, you see Tempt level 7, 113, still level 5. He doesn't have the ultimate for extra protection, gets chained down, but look at how much he actually survives and gets some time for SAKEN to put down damage once his Conqueror is fully stacked as well. One last dash from SAKEN to get away, and that was half an auto attack right there from Tempt, would have done the deal, but luckily for SAKEN, he flashes away last minute. Jaeger then comes back, and because Cabo is Minina, he's not gonna be able to survive this one. 2-for-1 trade. Both the AP assassins for the side of X7 have gotten the kills here.
That was really nice there. Haru trying to finish up this red buff while 113 starting the Rift Herald. I believe Haru will be aware of it. You can also see that Hantera has moved over into the area. Haru gonna see that this is actually going down if he decides to put the flag down, but isn't for the moment. Tempt spots it out, and there goes the Herald. So 113 able to sneak away that objective from X7. Question to me is, where are they going to look to use that? In the mid lane potentially to open SAKEN up a little bit more? Or are they going to try and use it top?
Again, the first dragon of the game has not gone down, so usually a lot of the ways that you can use the Rift Herald is like you pop it down mid, you give plates to SAKEN, he maybe completes Luden's Echo, and then you can move your entire team towards the dragon as well whilst you have pressure in the mid lane. One other option would be give it to Cabochard. He's already gotten 1.5 plates up in the top side of the map. Maybe he can completely open up that lane, but because 113 invested time towards that Rift Herald, Haru and Kasing will bundle up again to invade, and yoink, the chickens go away as well.
Oh, good chains actually. They get the knock up as well. He's going low. He has the ultimate to keep himself alive.
He's gone.
113 is down. Kasing, he's out, but SAKEN's chasing. He's run out of ultimates though. Haru will burn down though, and they find themselves the kill. That's the last chase they need. SAKEN is so low, but he's got the double bust. Now they got the orb. Rekkles able to find the kill. Kasing jumps out, and Nata on his lonesome. The flash forward into the death charge. Nata flashes over the wall, dodging out on the charm, and KC come out the victors of that red buff fight.
2-0-1. SAKEN on that Ahri comes out super ahead from that trade, getting these early kills, getting towards that Luden's Echo, which, okay. Sadly, especially for Nemera, it's not going to be a Luden's Echo, it's going to be that Everfrost, but the closer you get to it, the more powerful you will be in locking members down, like the Akali which jumps in, like the LeBlanc when she comes in, and 113 with the Herald in his pocket is looking for that X7 bot lane.
Yeah, they're looking to chase him down, as meanwhile in the mid lane, SAKEN's been shut down by Tempt. They're jumping in bot side though, and they might just find the kill. 113 able to get it, pop the ultimate. And Nata now down. This means Dragon is a potential here, like you were saying. They've got the Rift Tail to afford themselves some pressure. Haru's just trying to get some permanent vision for his team. We'll be able to do so, but I think they're just going to have to give up some plates, potentially, and that Dragon.
When this game comes down to team fights, it is going to be up to SAKEN and Tempt to find the key targets. SAKEN currently is the fed member in his team, whilst Cabo fancies a little bit of a rumble right there with Jaeger on the 1v1 top. They will both blow their ultimates. And let's see that replay again, because a lot... Okay, it's not that replay. It's actually 113 running down. Kasing is trying to cover for Nata, but the flash in from 113 will seal the deal, whilst Haru and Tempt are killing off SAKEN in the middle. All in all, it was a 1-for-1.
To be fair, it's hard on our poor observers this game, because once one thing happens, something happens elsewhere. Double chains into the sigil, comes out, and SAKEN... I think if Tempt had his Q a little earlier, he would have got the kill there, because that would have popped with that second chain. Didn't do so didn't get the additional damage off. But a lovely little trade there from Tempt, forcing SAKEN out, and this will afford the pressure to X7, where they can pick up this first dragon for themselves.
But look at the top side of the map, because they know Haru is doing the dragon right now. Meanwhile, Jaeger in the top side of the map is struggling because he has no ultimate available, and the refill is actually popped for Cabo. We mentioned this as well, because Cabo took so many plates, the tower will end up going down, but Tempt is up there as well.
Yeah, he has got Tempt. He's in the shroud for the moment. Tempt jumps in forwards. They're looking for Jaeger. Jaeger still invisible. Oh, they find the kill. Tempt is burning low. The boulder task gets blocked out by the clone. Tempt jumps his away with his W, trying to buy some space. The red bus ticking, and in comes Haru with the flag. The drag to save the day, and dunking Cabochard. Haru coming up huge. Kasing, meanwhile, is going low. One more feather from Rekkles will come in with an answer kill.
Whoa, that was a 2 versus 2 in the bot lane by Rekkles and Hantera, absolutely destroying Nata and Kasing. Whilst on the other side of the map, 2 members died from the sort of Karmine Corp, but this is worth for Karmine Corp, because the wave is pushed bot lane. They managed to take an entire tower pre-minute 14 on the top side of the map for Cabochard. Cabochard now has his Trinity Force and his Hex Trinket, which makes him both durable and really dangerous in these team fights. And then again, you see Kasing and Hantera are trying to put down the damage. But again, remember what we talked about when the Featherstone comes in, all of that bullet time damage is being dodged. And really well played right there from Rekkles and Hantera to actually counter the bullet time and re-engage the fight.
Executed.
My mic is muted, sorry.
I was about to say, I might have lost you in the process here.
Honestly, Trouble, I only do it with you. I don't know why. I only ever mute my mic with you. I go for a swig of water and just forget to unmute. Rekkles starting to attack was pretty tragic, though. 14 minutes on the clock, 2,000 gold lead to X7. Definitely a less one-sided affair than the first time X7 met KC. Remember, if X7 win this game, they lock themselves into first in this group. Nobody can catch them. And they'll be the first seed coming out of Group B. And this is a tough group. This is definitely a tough group. Obviously, you do have Team Phantasma, who, you know, might not have had the best performance, but no one was really predicting them to. But Game of Legion and KC, kind of, for a lot of people, they saw those names and went, "Ooh, this could be a rough one." KC, though, domestically not being the best split for them.
Haru might be in for a surprise, but I really like the fact that you're mentioning Game of Legion right here, because if you're a Game of Legion fan, you're rooting for X7. You want X7 to lock in that first seed so you can still have a chance to make it into the quarterfinals. I think X7 are making the right choice also right here. They're letting the tower go, but they're not putting pressure anywhere else on the map. Because while this is going on, look at the top side of the map. Cabochard is in the jungle. He takes red buff, he takes Romp, waits for that wave to be crushed underneath his tower. Doesn't really miss much because he's back in time. Whilst Karmine Corp are taking towers left, right, and center from the map.
Oh, SAKEN. Oh, the charm. The chains was just a little off. SAKEN did have to burn that Spirit Rush, and now X7 can get some time on this mid lane tower, but not a very big wave, and not really a lot of damage to deal with it, so just going to do half its health, and SAKEN able to catch the last of the wave. There is a Rift Herald up, though, and that could be X7's way to kind of crack these towers and maybe open the map up a little bit for themselves. Harry's going to start it up.
Yeah,
But KC are in the area. They are collapsing forwards.
They're around vision because the Scuttlecraft belongs to KC, and they have instantly moved Nata up from the bot lane. Holy Kasing.
That was close there, and they jump. They get the quickness off the multiple members. Nata not going in for the ultimate yet. The dunk goes down. 1-1-3 flashes out. Nata flashes into his pocket and secures the kill. Rekkles has to throw the ultimate, and now that is it for KC. They give up the Herald. They lose their jungler, and they may just lose their mid tower.
And actually, X7 lose nothing at all from that trade as well. They can choose to pop it down mid lane and instantly open up the map. for themselves, whilst Tempt is being extremely dangerous for anyone who gets near. You see how when the double assassins come in, the Akali for Jaeger and the LeBlanc for Tempt, it's extremely dangerous for any member of KC to walk through at some point, especially Cabo when he was mid and didn't have any of that raid spell built up to try and get that ultimate for a big team fight. They couldn't walk in, and we're gonna get the replay again right here. Kasing, I'm gonna say that was intentional dodge onto the anchor right there, but the second 113 and Hantera tried to go for an engage, Kasing is actually extremely slippery onto that Rakan, and you see that Rekkles has to actually defensively pop the ultimate to not allow Tempt and Nata to move any further into this choke point, which means they end up losing two members, so they're losing one member and forfeiting that Rift Herald, which opened up at the mid lane tower for XM.
Nata does want to get the reset off and is actually down on items right now to Rekkles, who's finished up the Eclipse, got that Warhammer in the pocket as well. So if a fight breaks out, there is a few areas in which X7 are at a disadvantage, even though at the moment it feels like they're in a pretty good position. Gold leaving pretty close though. The Tempt's just going to jump over the wall, land a little bit of poke off onto KC. Double sigil.
Remember, this is going to be the battle of the AP assassins. Whoever kills the first. Oh my God!
Able to find the kill. Kasing jumping in, jumping out of the fight. Lovely little assassination off here as Cabo gets a lot of damage off into Kasing.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because three members of X7 are chucked down massively. And right now, KC are having a free ticket into the mid lane tier 1 tower.
They are indeed, but Tempt and Haru are on that flank though, so there is still an option. There is still an area to play around. Dragon up on the map as well. It does look like this is X7's point of attention. Want to get their second dragon for themselves and get that ever step closer towards that dragon's soul. We'll see what the soul is going to be here. The dragon goes down, and we are looking at a Hex-Tech soul for this team.
And honestly, we talked a lot about the junglers and what they provide for their teams. So far, 113 has been able to provide some short-time frontline for his team, but he's been getting absolutely popped by Tempt and Jaeger. If you look at the top side, Cabochard, the first item that he completed was the Hex Drinker. The only member that he was scared of is Akali and LeBlanc, because they can actually both get inside the Xin Zhao ultimate and inflict damage to the Xin Zhao. So I feel like just the Merc trades right here for 113 are not enough to keep him alive. Jaeger will be safe right here. I think 113 really needs to start banking on some magic resistance really quickly because he is the main frontliner for his team. And we saw that in the previous fight as well. The second he pressed his charge button in, he instantly disappeared without even being able to use that ultimate button.
It's definitely been a rough game for 113, and this kind of harks back to something we were talking about as well with KC's. In the Karmine Corp, they're very good at playing whatever style they decide to play, but they feel like they only have plan A. They never have a plan B to fall back on, and it feels like, yes, 113 playing aggressive didn't work, and now what do they do?
So again, we fall back to the back-to-back champion. SAKEN is the only OG member of the 2021 Spring Champions. Karmine Corp, the only remaining member is SAKEN. And right now, he's got a lot of money in his pocket. He's got the Everfrost. He's going for the Banshees as well to be able to withstand either that engage from Kasing or the extra damage coming in from Tempt. You need to start banking on that MR, and this is exactly what SAKEN is doing. But that means you're forfeiting a little bit on the damage department, and you're the only AP damage dealer in your team as the Ahri with a lot of the money on you. So the Everfrost into potentially the Banshees is not going to be the high burst Ahri that we used to see.
Wait.
Whilst yoink.
Haru just stole that.
I was a yoink.
He just slid in and stole that, but he may lose his life for it. Looking to flag and drag his way out, and Haru will get away scot-free. Very greedy.
A little bit, but he comes out scar-free, so that's all that matters. 113, though, is looking for those chickens. Of course, it is a trade, but what?
Haru's just going for the trade. They've got the quickness, they got the dunk, they got the knock-up. They're chasing in for more, baby. Slowed down by the Make It Rain and Tempt, who dash in one last time with the distortion and pick up a kill.
The actual patience on Tempt to wait until 113's ultimate was down and then go in for the kill. 1 and 6, unfortunately, for the KC jungler. Every single attempt of an aggressive play has backfired. And again, you see the 2 solo laners for X7, 4, 1 and 4 for Tempt, 3 and 1 for Jaeger. They're going to be a big nuisance in these team fights to come, and my eyes fall straight into Cabo. They fall straight into SAKEN. Can Cabo get that big ultimate to lock one of them down and instantly assassinate them with all the CC following up from SAKEN and Hantera, and of course Rekkles' damage too? Because I feel like if you allow Tempt to make these plays, the teamfight will be over before it even begins.
Absolutely. You can see that Rekkles has actually finished up a Hex Drink. Very scared about, you know, Jaeger and Tempt. The double AP assassins just bursting him out. Obviously, he has that ultimate as well, so a lot of safety tools, but I don't expect to see Rekkles ulting aggressively this game. I think it is going to be very much a defensive tool for Rekkles to play around. Other than that, major items have been met between Nata and Rekkles. Mid lane, the Void Staff has been finished up for Tempt, along with that Loon's Echo, so a lot of magic penetration coming in for Tempt. And jungle is pretty much equal as well in items. You can see Jaeger almost got that Zhonya's Hourglass finished up. So it does have a little bit more defensive tools and a little more cooldown reduction to work with.
And we also have 25 seconds before the next dragon pops up. It's going to be a Hextech one, which means that if you have this on the 2 assassins and onto the Misfortune, it's going to be extra amounts of burst, which means they're going to be able to chase you much easier because of the zap as well. So KC definitely going to be shoving into lanes.
They're jumping in. Haru's got the Dunkop. Kasing's found the knock-up onto Cabochard. He's been sent packing. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade to start us off. Jaeger able to find a kill. He is caught in place. He is going to have to use the stopwatch to keep himself alive. There is no escape for Jaeger as he is shut down, but the bullet time's going to get used. Rekkles jumps in. In comes Tempt. Tempt's on his lonesome. He has nowhere to go. He's shut down. SAKEN finds the kill, and Karmine Corp absolutely squash X7.
They keep themselves alive. Haru makes a crucial mistake right there. We mentioned who the third member is from X7. It is going to be Tempt, and he engages without the main damage dealer. Tempt is supposed to take someone out of the fight before the fight begins, and Haru engages without his mid laner there and pays deeply for it. Not only are KC gonna lose members here, but they're also going to lose that soul point win condition that they were holding. And let's see this fight one more time, because Jaeger is on the side and Haru sees the play right here. They've been punished in 1-1-3, but remember who's been punished in 1-1-3 every single time. It has been Tempt, jumping into the ultimate and completely making him disappear. Tempt just TP'd into the map because he came straight from a reset, and by the time he's in the fight, he tries to make a play right there, but beautiful reflexes on the flash by Rekkles doesn't allow any of the damage to come through, and the veterancy from a player named Rekkles is showing right here again. 2, 1 and 6. Morph and Mortis completed as well. The guy's super strong right now.
And at the end of that as well, it's now 2,000 gold lead for Karmine Corp. So they've got themselves a lovely little lead, setting up the vision around this Baron. I don't think they're going to throw themselves straight into it, because that 2,000 gold lead isn't enough just to completely steal that away while everyone's alive, as Hantera has to burn the flash. The chains are missed for the moment, and teleport's coming in. Jaeger actually going to get interrupted by Cabo's ultimate, so stopping him from actually doing anything.
Cabo is mid now, though.
Yeah, Jaeger, though, half health, wasn't really feeling it, didn't have complete vision where everyone is, and is able to get away with his life. But that's big. Teleport now down. Cabo has the advantage, and Jaeger just lost half his health. That was all he gained.
And also KC are getting some tempo on the map right now because they know that there is no ultimate onto Kasing. They burned that out. There is no ultimate onto Jaeger, which means he cannot push aggressively into Cabochard as well, especially since now he's going into Mega now form. And Haru has no easy way in. Both Rekkles and SAKEN have their ultimates up and available to get away from a sticky situation.
There is no flash, at least, for Rekkles, so you do have that to work with. You can catch him in the Cataclysm. He can ult, but he can't ult out of it. Once again, just a little bit of poke onto Hantera, but nothing too big. Crab's going to get picked up by KC, and they've got really solid vision control on the river. Meanwhile, SAKEN maybe looking for an assassination onto Nata. Nata can just get away. Very quick champion in that Misfortune.
And again, that fight in the mid lane where KC won was such a huge tempo boost for them because they managed to grab the towers in the mid lane. And especially when you're playing assassins like the Ahri or like the LeBlanc, you want to be hiding into Fog of War. Taking down these two mid lane towers means that you get to bleed your vision deeper into your opponent's jungle, which then allows you to take control of these squadrons and allows you to make the plays. Tempt has been looking the entire time after this teamfight was lost for X7 and hasn't been able to find a pick. It's going to be very crucial to see if the X7 mid laner can find something before the fight starts.
That was just honestly a lucky dodge by Tempt. He had no idea that Chop was coming out of a bush. X7 are slowly regaining control of this river area around the Baron, getting a couple of getting a couple of wards down. That's where I can speak.
Many visions.
Many visions to be had for the side of X7, but the dragon spawning up in 1 minute 30 means we'll probably see some shift of attention there for KC. It's kind of why they've given up the vision control in this area. Don't really want to lose their lives for vision, which they'll be shifting out fairly towards this other part of the map anyway soon. Hantera hooks a wall, and that might have just been a bit of a squeaky moment.
They're going in.
Using it as an opportunity to go and look at the bullet time. It's huge. They're jumping forward. Nata finds the kill. Cabo's pinned it in place, and there's the shutdown. There's the dunk. Rekkles doesn't have flash, but he has feathers to keep himself alive. Kasing jumping in forward, and Rekkles is taken down. Nata finds the kill, and it's only 2 for Karmine Corp. Tempt chases on. He finds himself the chains, but no, it's going to get broken by the dash. And KC lose 3 and only gain 1.
3-1 in favor of X7. X7 find a brilliant fight in this choke point. Kasing and his experience come right through. And the second he sees members of Karmine Corp bunching up, he sets up the perfect team fight for Nata on that misfortune. But all in all, it was just a revenge team fight because nothing is won out of that. 30 seconds for the next dragon. X7 are going to get the first reset and be the first ones to move into that river. If they manage to secure this dragon, it will be soul point for them. Again, Hextech is so important for them. The zap, the extra damage onto somebody like LeBlanc and Akali that are looking to find these early pre-team fight assassinations is going to be huge.
Seeing the Schroeder's grudge being picked up as well for Nata, so these choke points getting even scarier to walk through. The slow is going to be very impactful. That bullet time flash and heal available. Rekkles has regained his own flash. Tempt's found himself Hantera. Hantera has to stop, watch out. Tempt could be in trouble though. Jumps over the wall. Cabu find himself an amazing flank, but he is CC'd for now. But KC are coming up in the fight. They found 2. They found 3. They are absolutely walking over everyone, and Tempt is being chased down. Rekkles finds the feathers back as well, and Tempt will fall to the Foxfire. A triple kill for SAKEN, and X7's dreams of getting a perfect, flawless Group B could just be falling apart right here, right now.
The back-to-back champion, the only OG Karmine Corp member remaining. SAKEN comes up huge in this fight. X7 overreach yet again to just kill Nautilus. They blow everything onto Hantera, and KC clean up house. They deny yet again the soul point for X7. They'll take the Baron, and let's see the team fight one more time because that was huge. Tempt jumps through the wall right there, but he's already used the W to try and poke down Hantera. And yes, even though Hantera dies, Cabo dives into the pit and creates such problems for X7 because he is huge right now. Remember the damage and the survivability that we mentioned, while SAKEN uses his resets so perfectly to take down everyone remaining for the side of X7. SAKEN and Cabo, the 2 solo laners from Karmine Corp, coming in huge in this team fight.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing performance of Cabo. He's got a 2-level lead over Jaeger, and you're just sitting there, half helping him with a little trade. Cheeky proc of that W passive. Just doing so much damage to Jaeger. Jaeger's going to get slowed down heavily, but a lot of damage coming out, or a lot of slows coming out from Nata. As Jaeger actually jumped him forwards there.
That was used.
That was big, but they find themselves to knock out the bullet time onto SAKEN. He's burning low. The tower shot will shut him down. Kasing cashes in on the gold, but it doesn't matter. The Ahri is down. Baron stripped off 1 member of KC.
That is huge right here, Heat Brain, because they're taking down that tempo that KC had. You've taken your second dragon, you've taken the Baron, and you're expecting a push to happen on the map. The only remaining outer tower there is for X7 is a top lane tower. SAKEN overextends a little bit, gets instantly punished by X7. And now the swing is pretty much even again. The gold diff is only 2,000 gold, 4,000 gold. At this point, it does not matter at all, because if you look at the inventories, every single member from both sides have the main items that they need. And one small trade right there from Tempt takes 50% of Rekkles' HP away.
Rekkles does at least have that Eclipse. It has some sustain to recover the health, but it's kind of just a bit of a show of what Tempt can do, a show of force, if you will. Jaeger, I mean, this Akali pick just hasn't really seemed to offer too much. It's found a couple of executions in team fights, but it's not been like the nuisance. You're seeing Tempt able to burst people, but I haven't really seen the burst from Jaeger. It's more just the follow-up and the cleanup.
It's going to have to be resets for Jaeger, and like you mentioned, like cleaning up whatever Tempt leaves behind. But if Tempt gets caught at the very start of the fight, it's going to be extremely dangerous for X7 to try and pull the fight. And you see that Cabo, yet again, they're using these Baron Bomb to try and go in, but Tempt might get caught!
Tempt's just popped! Cabo able to take him down, solo kill from Cabochard. Tempt just biting off way too much there.
This tier 2 top lane tower is like a graveyard for mid laners. Both times SAKEN overextends, now Tempt overextends, but this is really bad news for X7 and good news for Karmine Corp, because Karmine Corp still have the Baron up and available for them. They've got double cannon minion pushing in the top side of the map, and they're also pushing mid lane at the same time. They're gonna pull the TP. This could be inhibitor for Karmine Corp.
Depends how hard they're willing to push. This could actually be a little bit more. I think for now, they may just be settling with that top lane inhibitor tower, or at least a lot of damage onto
seconds.
it. X7 move out, the charms come down. Tempt's about to come back, but KC quite happy just to take the push and take a second inhibitor. X7 are scratching their heads, trying to find their opportunity to come back into this game, but they can't do so. Cabo has been an absolute monster this game.
Oh.
The flash, the dunk from Haru, they're coming in, they get the Gnar back on 2-1. Jaeger getting slowed down. Nata unable to do anything. He's knocked up. He's popped. In comes Tempt. He's looking for the chains onto Rekkles. He finds the shutdown, the bullet time, doing a lot of work, doing a lot of slow. They find the knockup, they find more slows. Nata is being knocked up though. He's being chased. Haru getting taken up by Cabochard. This might just be the fall for X7. Everybody but Kasing is down. Kasing falls as well. Casey in the base with the super minions, and X7 are not getting the clean sweep in groups as KC fire back.
X7 thought they had a first seed coming. 0 kills was what KC was able to do last time these two teams met. And now KC with a revenge victory onto X7. Honestly, Cabo and SAKEN, the two solo laners from Karmine Corp, absolutely stellar performance. And Karmine Corp 4-1, X7 4-1. At the end of the day, we could be looking for a tiebreaker on who's taking that first seed.
That was an unbelievably good game from Karmine Corp, but a very scary game as well, because X7 looked like the strongest team in this group. I think it was completely fair to make that assessment coming into today, and then losing a game in that fashion. X7, for the first time in this tournament, I think it's fair to say, looked lost. I'm curious to see, you know, what people's thoughts are on, like, why. For me, it felt like Jaeger, it didn't really have any impact on the Ahri. It got absolutely slapped about in lane by the Gnar, didn't really do much in the team fights, and ultimately, Cabochard was just a winning factor for the side of Karmine Corp. We sung the praises of SAKEN and 1-1-3, and Cabo came up absolutely huge in that game. Trouble, it was a phenomenal win, but what it also means is the rest of our games actually have a lot of stakes now. Karmine Corp finding that win, that means they did knock out Gamer Legion, I believe. I'll double check that in the break. And then, you know, for the side of X7, they're now playing for first place in this group. That's what they're playing for. They could have locked it here, but they've now got to take on Team Phantasma, hope Gamer Legion get revenge in the next game, and otherwise things could get real close here. Anyway, we are going to throw to a very quick break, and when we're back, we'll talk a little bit more about that game, and we'll also be getting ready to go into Gamer Legion versus Karmine Corp, so don't go anywhere. See you in a moment.